Abba Kyari sold Buhari's candidacy to me, Oshiomole declared. The chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Adams Oshiomole, has described the late chief of staff to the president, Abba Kyari, as a true Nigerian patriot and said that he was the first to sell President Muhammadu Buhari's candidacy to him. I recalled he was the one that first approached me in 2002 as the national president of Nigerian Labour Congress to sell Buhari's candidacy to the Labour movement. He invested his personal resources, energy, and wide contacts in the business world in the project, Mr. Oshiomole said. Mr. Abba Kyari had on March 23rd tested positive to the novel coronavirus and died on Friday while on treatment at a medical facility in Lagos. In a statement on Monday, Mr. Oshiomole joined other leaders and Nigerians in paying tribute to the late Mr. Abba Kyari, recalling his interactions with the late presidential aide, Mr. Oshiomole, who has not spoken to the aide since the federal government issued the lockdown directive, said his relationship with President Muhammadu Buhari, right-hand man, did not start with APC emergence as the ruling party, but earlier during its time as a Labour leader. Way back in 1973, we had found ourselves in opposing sides of the issue at Zamfara Textile in Kaduna. I was the leader of the workers' union while he represented the management as admin officer. But in the many brushes the union had with the management, Abba Kyari showed a true character as a conscious man, a true Nigerian patriot, by never failing to side with workers on the core issue of human dignity and fairness. Following our protest, he was the lone voice at the management meeting who spoke against the operation of two classes of canteen by the company. He was not afraid to state that having a uniform canteen for both management staff and junior staffs was the only way to convince the junior workers that their meal was not inferior. Similarly, even though he was supposed to be on the side of the oppressor, Abba Kyari persuaded the management to incur extra costs by issuing all factory workers 2 pairs of personal protective uniform and safety boots. The amazing thing was that in pushing our case with management every time, Abba Kyari never sought to be seen or worshipped as a hero. For him, advocating for social justice was not a favor but a duty, Mr. Oshiomole said. Abba Kyari was not only loyal to President Muhammadu Buhari, he was also faithful to friends through thick and thin. His sense of humor was phenomenal. I recall that whenever we meet and I complained that the stress of ruling the office of national chairman was such that I had little time to socialize with old friends like him, he would tease by saying, "If a young man like you is complaining of stress as ordinary national chairman of a party, I wonder what you expect someone like President Muhammadu Buhari, who is running the entire country as his age and with all he has been through since the 60s, and it's still making sacrifices today to say he added." Thank you, viewers, for listening to this news about Oshiomole, Abba Kyari, and Buhari. Look at what Oshiomole has just said concerning Abba Kyari. Do you know that if someone did not lost his or her lives, it won't be talked good, as they won't say good about that person. They won't know if he's good or bad. Since all this while, before the death of Abba Kyari, nobody knows the kind of person he is. A lot of Nigerians have been criticizing him, saying so many evil things about him, saying things about him, good and bad. A lot of people said he is the one controlling President Muhammadu Buhari because he has the secret of President Muhammadu Buhari on his palm. A lot of people said he's the president, not President Muhammadu Buhari. Buhari is the chief of staff, while Abba Kyari was the president of Nigeria. A lot of people said so many things about him, about his collaborating with Boko Haram and X-Men, because he is a Fulani man. So he is in conjunction. He is supporting Boko Haram and X-Men in Nigeria. Since he was the leader of Nigeria, as people said, why didn't he command Boko Haram and X-Men to stop their evil activities? Since he is a Fulani man, I think he should have stopped the activities of Boko Haram and X-Men. They would listen to him because he is their leader and is the one sponsoring the activities of these terrorists. Now that is no more, what will now be the fate of President Muhammadu Buhari? What will be the end of this country? Will this country continue the way it has been, or will it start from where it stopped? Or will the activities of this terrorist stop or continues? Or do we still have someone in the Buhari's cabals, that has the same agenda like Abba Kyari did or has? The person can still continue with the attitude and ambition of Abba Kyari becoming the president in this country. By destroying this country, God in his infinite mercy did not allow that to happen to Nigeria. So he's losing his life now. It now depends on who the next chief of staff will be. The next chief of staff will depend on who Buhari chooses as the next chief of staff. My own prayer is that anybody that is coming as that is replacing late Abba Kyari as the chief of staff should be led by God Almighty. Anything God puts his hands or anything God orders is always perfect. So if God can order the step of the next person to replace late Abba Kyari, then the person, then God will definitely make the person dance to his tune. The person that God chooses will be a perfect being that will make this country a better place, that will support Nnamdi Kanu. Actually, Nnamdi Kanu is a God-given man. Or if Nnamdi Kanu is a God-fearing person and God's hand is in Nnamdi Kanu's struggle never to be in vain, then this person that will be replacing the late Abba Kyari as the chief of staff will be in support of Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran agitations. So I think this country will now be a better country than other countries, and the US and UK and other American countries, other outside countries will never say bad or evil things about Buhari's government or Nigeria anymore. So viewers, what is your own comments concerning this news that you just heard? If you have any comment, drop them below the comment box. Click on the subscription button as well as the bell button to receive updates whenever I publish new videos. And yet, don't forget, share and like this news as well. Thank you as you do.